Hello children, good morning and welcome back to the online class. Today is Thursday. Uh, Friday is the last class before the Durga Puja vacation. As I told you in the social studies class that you enjoy, no doubt about it, you should enjoy, but never forget to follow the COVID protocol because your safety is of utmost concern to us. Your safety is of utmost concern to your parents, to your teachers, to everybody. So not only that you will follow that, please ensure that your parents also follow the same protocol. If they are not following, tell them that it is mandatory, it is compulsory to follow the COVID protocol and they should follow it. They also should not forget, because you can tell them, you can tell your parents if you see that they are not following it, and they will listen to you. When my son was of your age, I used to listen to him. Whatever he used to tell me, I used to listen to him. Whenever he used to see me doing something wrong, he used to tell me, Papa, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Then I used to tell him, sorry beta, I have done this, so I'll not do it anymore. Like this. So I'm sure your parents will also listen to you. So enjoyment is one thing that is your right to enjoy, because you are studying throughout the year, you are busy with the online classes, confined at home, but this is the time when you can enjoy. So do enjoy, but maintain the COVID protocol also. Okay. Now last class, which lesson we have taken up? Down the volcano. We have seen that Professor Leidenbach, then Axel, his nephew Axel, and Hans, their guide, they wanted to go to the center, they wanted to reach the center of the earth. So they have reached they have reached the mouth of a volcano. They have reached the mouth of a volcano. They want to reach the center of the earth through that crater. Crater means deep pit. Crater created by the volcano. So now they have already planned how to go down. They'll be using a thick rope to climb down the pit. And they have also planned, Professor Leidenbach, what is his name? Leidenbach. Professor Leidenbach, he has planned how the luggage will be taken along with them. He's divided the luggage into three parts. One part will be carried by Axel, one part by Hans, and the other part by himself. So this much planning they have done. Let us see what they are doing next. Let us see. Before that, I'll read the last paragraph that we have read in the last class. Now, said my uncle. Uncle means Professor Leidenbach. Having finished these preparations, let's think about the luggage. It will be split. Split means divided. It will be split into three, and each of us will tie a package to his back. I refer only to the breakable objects. Hans will carry the tools and a third of the food. A third means one third. The food will be divided into three parts. So one part will be carried by Hans, one part will be carried by Axel, and another part will be carried by their uncle, that is Professor Leidenbach. You, Axel, another third of the food and the firearms. The firearms are also will be carried by Axel. I will take the rest of it and the delicate instruments. As I said, delicate instruments means the instruments which are likely to break on receiving shock. So they are the delicate instruments. They need a lot of care to be carried from one place to other. But what about the clothing and this great pile of ropes and ladders? Who will take them? I asked. They had their clothing also, and that great pile of rope, very long rope they had. So that was also very heavy, isn't it? There is no need, replied my uncle. Why? I asked. "You will see," replied my uncle without hesitating. So what did his uncle say? His uncle said that we need not carry the clothing and the great pile of ropes and ladders. On his command, Hans tied the unbreakable objects into a single packet, which was tied solidly together, and then he simply dropped it down into the vast hole. I heard the low howling sound produced by the movement of air as our luggage fell. My uncle, leaning over the pit, watched the fall with great satisfaction and stood up again only after he could not see it anymore. Why he could not see it anymore? It went so deep that it was invisible. "Right, we are next," he said. My uncle attached the package. Myself. So what did he do? First of all, so the unbreakable objects were tied and simply dropped from their place to reach the bottom of the pit. My uncle attached the package of instruments to his back. Hans took the tools, I the firearms. The descent began. Descent means climbing down. Going down is known as descent, and climbing up is known as ascent. ASCENT. And climbing down, going down, is known as descent. DESCENT. The descent began in the following order. In which order? Who went first? First Hans went down, then my uncle, finally I. We proceeded in deep silence, which was broken only by pieces of rock falling down. So they were all silent. They never spoke a word. Naturally, the words will naturally go out of your mouth because it's so risky matter, so risky affair. You won't find words. You won't have any words to speak. I went slowly and carefully, holding on to the double rope and using my feet to slow down. So by feet he was slowing down. Otherwise, if you fall from top to bottom, your speed will be very high. But you cannot drop down so at a very high speed. So he was using his feet to slow down. I was terribly afraid of losing support. The rope seemed too delicate to bear the weight of 3 people. I used it as little as possible, balancing myself on the lava projections with my feet. You know what are the lava projections? The lava which come out when it cools down, it becomes as hard as rock. So inside also lava which has cooled down, that projects like rocks, and outside also the lava becomes rock. When one of these rocks happened to come loose under Hans's feet, he would say in his calm voice, "Careful." Hans was so calm, he was not afraid at all. After half an hour, we reached the top of a large rock solidly attached to the wall of the chimney. That large rock was attached to the wall of the chimney. That large rock also might have been found by the lava. Who knows? Hans pulled one of the ends of the rope and the other rose in the air. Leaning over our narrow platform, I noticed that the bottom of the hole could still not be seen. So they had to go furthermore, isn't it? Then the descent began again. And half an hour later, we had got 200 feet deeper. Initially, it is not mentioned how much deep they went, but after the first descent, when the second descent started, after the second descent started, half an hour later, they further went down 200 feet. After 3 hours, I had still not caught a glimpse of the bottom of the chimney. Caught a glimpse means I could not see. I had still not caught a glimpse. That means I could not see the bottom of the chimney. So 3 hours, for 3 hours they have gone down. Still, they could not see the bottom of the chimney. Just imagine how deep it was. When I looked up, I could see the mouth, which was getting quite a lot smaller. The deeper they were going, the smaller the mouth was becoming. That was because as the walls rose up towards the mouth, they looked as if they were coming together. It was slowly getting darker. We were still going down. We had used the rope 14 times, taking half an hour each time. So we had spent 7 hours plus 14 rest periods of 15 minutes or 3.5 hours. That means totally they have used 10.5 hours. 10.5 hours in total. Since we had left at 1 o'clock, it had to be about 11 o'clock now. So how did he calculate the time? How did he calculate the time? He calculated the time by calculating the descents and the rest periods. By calculating the number of times he used the ropes and the rest period. By calculating the number of times he used the ropes and the rest period. At that moment, Hans's voice was heard. Halt! I stopped at the moment my feet were about to knock my uncle's head. I stopped just at the moment my feet was about to knock my uncle's head. His feet was about to hit his uncle's head. That time he stopped because Hans had shouted, halt. So today we will not read further. In the next class we will read further and we will try to discuss the question answers. Okay. So children, tomorrow we'll read the rest of it. It will not take much time. And what I will do is, I'll send the question and answer. Or do one thing. I'll do one thing, children. I'll read the complete chapter today. And day after tomorrow, I'll send the question answers. That will be better. Or you want the question answers to be discussed in the class. Which will be better? I think question answers, if I write the question answers and send it to you, that will be better for you because you'll have a record of it. You can write it down in your notebook and you'll have a record of it. So let us complete the chapter then. Let us see what happened next. We are there, he said. Who said? Hans said. We are there, he said. Because Hans had shouted halt. Now he says, we are there. Where? I asked, slipping down beside him. At the bottom of the chimney. And there's no way out? Yes, there is. I can just see a curving tunnel towards the right. We will have a look tomorrow. Let's eat. They were very hungry, so they had to eat something. Let's eat and then we can sleep, my uncle said. We opened the food bag, ate and lay down, each doing his best to make a bed amongst the stone and lava debris. Leftover of the lava, that has already become hard, cooled down and hard. Lying on my back, I opened my eyes and caught sight of a brilliant object at the other end of the 3,000 foot long tube-like well. It was a star, but not twinkling at all. My knowledge of astronomy told me that it was the star Beta of the constellation Little Bear. I fell into a deep sleep. So what did he see? He saw star Beta of the constellation Little Bear, because he had some knowledge of astronomy also. Okay then. So tomorrow I will write the question answers and send it as I do every time. Okay. So with this we come to the end of come to the end of reading the chapter Down the Volcano. Question answers are left. I'll do that for you. Okay, children. Thank you very much.